10 ways to execute an effective plan. Number 1, gather information. Before you can begin developing a successful plan, you need to make sure that you have all the information necessary. Schedule a meeting with the clients, stakeholders, and other team members to determine the full scope of your project, and some questions you might ask include: what are the key deliverables for this project? What do you consider a successful return on the investment? Are any key milestones we should be aware of? When does this project need to be completed by? What communication channel does your client prefer? What are the most important areas of the project we need to focus on? What is the budget for the project? What the problems does this project aim to solve? Take thorough notes throughout your discussion so you can reference them later on when you start to develop your plan. These notes can also help you to share your other team members to ensure that everyone is aligned and working towards the achieving the same objective. Number 2, strategic planning. Effective planning is a crucial part of the success of any strategy, as haphazard plans often lead to failure. Data suggests that 83% of strategies fail due to the faulty assumptions in the strategy formulation process. Number 3, communication. According to the article of the Harvard Business Review, 95% employees doesn't understand or unaware of their company strategy. Unfortunately, many organizations make mistakes of the communicating their strategy plan only after it has been developed. You need to start the process of engaging your organization during the plan phase, and once it's ready, expose it to your people. The strategy presentation don't work. Rather than simply presenting the plan to your team, it's important to allow them to explore, discuss, and ask the question about it. Two-way communication is a crucial part with the guidelines and policies flowing from the top while the feedback and ideas come from the bottom. To achieve this, it's important to improve the internal communication and establish the mechanism for feedback and input. Number 4, team building exercises to make a difference. Due to the challenging work that comes with the fast track projects with such a tight budget and schedule, it is essential to keep the team energized. Hosting a team building event improves productivity, increases motivation, encourages creativity, connect remote teams, build trust, opens communication, and increases morale. Any event for hosting a pizza party, learn and learns with a health and mediation coach, massive project milestone celebrations, or a retreat will have a positive impact. The team invested in 2 days social workshop to brainstorm the ideas on how to mitigate the challenges of the project, how to reduce stress, increase morale, to bring the team together to refresh and re-engage collectively. A positive return in energy, enthusiasm, and newly formed friendships were noticed after this event, adding to the momentum of the project through the completion. Number 5, identify key resources. Once you have established what the scope of the project is, consider what key resources you need to complete it. These resources can vary from project to project, but often include raw materials, equipment, software, staff, and vendors. You can create a list to help you to keep track of these resources, or use a project management software tool to help you to stay organized. Use a search engine to research different project management software tools and choose the one of the best that works best for you. Once you have created the list of necessary resources, you may begin to identify where you can source them from. Consider including a backup option for each resource to ensure that you are well prepared. By taking the time to analyze what resources your team needs to be completed this project, you can help to keep the project on schedule and increase the likelihood of its overall success. Research different project management software tools and choose the one of that works best for you. Number 6, create a framework. Once you have identified your SMART goals, consider how you can approach the project by breaking these goals down into the smaller tasks. Create a framework that clearly identifies each step of the project and when it needs to be completed by. Project managers use the frameworks to provide their teams with the guidelines, establish fundamental procedures, and ensure common language is used for communication across the entire team. Developing a project framework can also help you to share the best practices with your team and help client understand the process. You can research the different project management organizational structures and choose the one that works best for you. Number 7. Assign tasks. The next step is to assign tasks to different team members by clearly identify what role of each members of your team can perform throughout the project. You can increase efficiency by get a better idea of what a realistic timeline is. Before you assign a task, consider which team members have availability in their schedule and what their strengths are. Then pair them with responsibility that match their ability and skill set to increase the overall your quality of your finished project. Once you have determined who's the best suited for each task, schedule a team meeting to discuss the project details. Let each team member know what they are responsible for and when they need to have their task completed by. Then answer any questions your team has to make sure they have all the information that they need to begin working on the project. Number 8. Track your progress. Project managers are responsible for tracing the progress of the project to ensure each task is completed on time. Before your team begins to work on the project, determine what metrics you can use to track their progress. Here are the 4 types of key performance indicators that you can use to track your progress. Number 1. Timeline. Establish deadlines for specific tasks, key milestones, and when the final projects need to be completed. Number 2. Budget. Determine what your goal budget for this project is. You may also create a goal budget for different departments or team members who are working on the project. Consider measuring a budget variance, the number of budget iteration, or the cost performance index. Number 3. Quality. The way you measure quality may differ from one project to the next. Identify what key elements the client or the end user require to help you to determine how you can measure the quality of your project. Number 4. Effectiveness. Measuring the effectiveness of your project and team performance can help you to assess whether you can spending your time and money appropriately. You can measure the number of project milestones completed on the time and the number of changes request or billable utilization to help you to determine how effective your project is. Number 9. Evaluate performance. Once you have completed a project, conduct a full and final evaluation. This can help you to determine what parts of the project went well, where there was the room for improvements, and how successful overall project was. Some key areas you can look at during your final project evaluation are schedule, cost, quality, stakeholder or client satisfaction, performance to business case. Share your findings with your team and discuss what learned throughout this project. Be open to their feedback and use the final project evaluation as to improve your ability to execute plans successfully in the future. Number 10. Rewarding. The natural conclusion for the performance management is rewarding an employee. You have put so much effort into planning, communicating, and goal setting, but don't forget that the one thing that ultimately we almost all work for is money. The importance of connecting rewards back to strategy cannot be understated. This should be easy enough if you create a strategy with individual contributors in mind. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and do watch this video. This is Ashish Paul and